right, I'm going to bring up our next speaker, who is Aimee. Let's all take a breath for Aimee. Beautiful. And I just want to say this is Aimee's art, and you see the gorgeous art behind her. Yeah, this is her art that she has so gracefully given to this cover. I'm going to remove myself so that we can get a photo of you, Aimee, with the book holding it up. Here we go.
Like that.
A book on one side, art on the other. Miss Proud Mama, this is your art, your book. I love it. All right. Yeah, and Aimee also contributed art for our previous bestseller. Let me put that up. I'm going to come back here. This book here, Unleashing the Courageous Feminine, that's also Aimee's piece. So 2 pieces for 2 books in a row. Love it. Oh, Aimee, so good to be here with you today. Let me introduce you. So I have to go to the table of contents to find you. Okay, I think we're going a tiny bit out of order because of author schedules, which is fine. Okay, so Aimee's chapter is titled Stepping Away from the Ledge, Coming Home to Myself. We're going to hear about that, yeah. And here is, okay, Aimee Tomczak, MA, MFT, is a psychotherapist, an artist. It seems to be a theme in this group, an artist and intentional creativity painting instructor. With a background in dance, performance, meditation, and visual arts, she views creative expression as a transformative practice for self-discovery. Her artwork can be seen virtually and in person at Fulton Crossing Gallery, which would be in California, right?
Yeah.
One day I'll come visit. In her popular Awaken Your Creative Portal workshops, she guides people to reclaim their creative spark and their inner wisdom through the art as medicine process. She also offers private sessions using creativity for transformation and healing, online and in person. All right, she brings a heartfelt presence of playful compassion and depth to her teaching and has been called a creative catalyst by many. Welcome, Aimee.
Wonderful to be here, Laura.
Yeah. So
Thank
you're
you for the opportunity. Just again, thank you for the opportunity to share my artwork on the covers. It's just a dream come true, and I'm so grateful.
It's really an honor. I think they just really make the books pop. They make the books look so rich. You know, art has meaning. Our brains take in visual symbols, right? Faster than almost words.
Mm,
And there's a richness, a metaphoric richness, an archetypal richness way beyond just the title of the book. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I can share a little bit of what visionary, this art is called Visionary, and happy to share at some point.
Well, let's talk about your story first, and then
Yeah,
maybe we'll come back to how this
definitely.
piece of
Yeah.
art ties in. So, you know, your story is about burnout, really, from another career before you began to integrate art, and what happened at the beginning of the pandemic. And I think of the pandemic as a collective trauma that we
Mhm.
all experienced, no matter what country we were living in at the time,
Yes.
sadly. And everyone responded to the pandemic differently, but it brought out different things in so many people. Um, what happened for you during the pandemic that brought you to your literal edge?
Mm. Yeah. I was in a midlife, space, transitional space. I was in my mid 50s. I was 55, and it was 2020. And uh, I had been aware that my midlife had been challenging with a lot of hormonal shifts. And I had multiple stressors, including caring for my elderly mother for many years, almost 10 years, who had dementia. And I have no regrets for caring for her, but I had become so depleted and exhausted from the caregiving, working as a psychotherapist, in community mental health. And then COVID hit. And
Mm.
not only all that, but then I got displaced from my home. And there's more details about that in the chapter. But so I was living in a hotel, um, and really just became full of despair
Mm.
and wondering, who am I now? My mother had died in 2018. It
Okay.
was a huge grief process.
Yeah.
And I had been actually cut off from my art expression, my personal expression, for about 20 years. I was doing art before. I actually studied art in college. And
Wow. Didn't know that.
yeah, so I had been cut off what I feel is from the juiciness of my creative expression, but I was supporting other people to do theirs. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. So that's so interesting. We talked in the last session, and some of the other people have written about art as a creative outlet for healing. And you didn't have that at this time when you were grieving your mother. And then all of a sudden, the shutdown, everybody is so socially isolated.
Yeah.
You were overworked, still grieving. And then
Hmm.
what happened?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was just wiped out and ended up having a, scary experience where I actually contemplated jumping off the ledge of my hotel room. And this is very tender for me, and it's tender to even share.
Tall building, right? You weren't like two-story. You were
Yeah,
like,
I was on the eighth floor, and I don't even know if some of my closest friends know that that was happening. Um, and so, in telling this story, it's tender, but I want to tell it because I want other women who maybe also have had those feelings, um, to hold on. And so I had those feelings and I had those thoughts.
mhm.
And then I decided, knowing that I can observe my thoughts and not be impulsive, I said, just go to bed, just go to bed.
I just want to say I'm so glad you had that clarity of mind. Go to bed.
Thank
Something
you.
was protecting you.
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
so grateful for that.
Hmm.
And that night I had a dream that I jumped off the balcony and then I landed in a beautiful nest of flowers, colorful flowers, with my cat on the one side and a white dog on the other. And let me tell you, woke up going, whoa.
Oh, your cat. Had you ever met that dog? You didn't know that dog.
I didn't know that dog. No. And something in me woke up and I said, okay, this I need to pay attention to. This
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
I am getting a gift right now. What is this telling me? And I wrote it down and I drew the dream and I said, I need to listen to my deeper subconscious and my creative spirit that had been really being ignored.
Totally. So was that your first time doing art in like decades when you drew that painting of your dream or
Yeah,
drew a
I
sketch?
had done some dream journaling, but I hadn't actually taken color and, done the images. Yeah, I really hadn't done it for a couple of decades because I was in caregiving mode and I was in, work mode, and I had been in a relationship that, was unfortunately, with all the stress that had, crumbled, and I was neglecting that part of myself. Yeah.
How did that dream guide you as you move forward in coming back to life?
It felt like that dream allowed me to wake up in a way to take my creative self and my dreams and my body and soul and my divine feminine soul seriously again. I
Okay.
knew I had done it before,
Right.
and it was like, wake up, hello, we're here.
Mm.
And I began to say, I am not going to collapse on myself.
Right.
And that's when I started painting with my teacher, Shiloh Sophia, who I'd been wanting to work with for, a long, long, long time, but I always pushed it away. And I began to claim my voice through painting again.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how did your life change after that? Like what changed as well on the outside besides that you were painting now?
I began to stand up for myself in a way that was almost even surprising to me. Like I found this voice coming up in me, like, no, that actually doesn't work for me. And I really need you to do this. Like, for example, dealing with, someone, a business person or some kind of situation, right? Like just expressing more of fully my value and myself.
Yeah.
And then, things began to unfold and I did this series. I did a year-long training with Shiloh, and I did a series of 4 archetypal paintings, quite large ones, 30 by 40 inches. And in a way, those divine feminine archetypes, those faces that came forward, were seeing me. And I felt seen by them, which then helped me to remember who I was.
Wow. So through painting the feminine archetypes, you were able to remember who you were. It was calling you back.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
calling me back. And that began to blossom into asking myself, what do I want now? What do
Mm,
I want
great
now? And that
question.
was a scary question.
Okay. What did you want? What did you find?
Yeah, I didn't want to live in the city anymore. I wanted to move to the country. I wanted to paint. I wanted a bigger space. I wanted another relationship. I wanted to feel peace. There were a lot of things that I started to just listen to.
Beautiful.
And things began to unfold in magical, mysterious ways that really opened up a new home um,
In the country.
in the country. And now I'm in Sonoma County and love it here and have a art room in my cottage. And I was offered to be at this gallery, and then they said, "We want you to do workshops." And I said, "You do? Okay." Like, sure.
Love it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So tell us about this painting that's on the cover of Unbreakable Spirit.
Yeah, this painting is called Visionary, and she was the fourth archetypal painting that I did. And basically, and I'll read something that she would say in a moment, but and I know we'll wrap up. Um, but anyway, she's expressing the feminine spirals flow you can see on the left side. Um, the feminine receptivity with the structure, lines, and focus of the masculine on the right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And her eyes and face came much later. I work in layers, and this is how I teach my students. We do layers, and we just see what wants to come through rather than planning.
Mm, wow.
And so she's a harmonious blend of both as a visionary for the future, which I hope we can have in our world at some point.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
so,
goodness.
mm,
Wow. Well, do you want to say any final words maybe about what you see happening for other? I know you work especially with midlife women and how art can help them in their transitions at midlife.
yeah. I would say midlife is such a portal for your creative spark, whatever and however that is, whether that's gardening, cooking, dancing, writing, being, right? Being instead of doing. I mean, this is really juicy stuff. And so let yourself be drawn by that. Let yourself feel and trust the joy of your spirit that wants to come through, because that is your true essence. And I think midlife is an opportunity for us to connect to who we really are beyond the roles, the expectations, and the pressures of maybe what we've lived.
Yeah.
and move into who we want to be in our next chapter, including powerful, including however you want to be.
I love that. I never had a dog till midlife. I never gardened till midlife. So I didn't play the violin till midlife. I played it as a child, but I mean, there's so many more artistic things that have come into my life, and being an author. So
Mhm.
beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to invite everybody to put some love for Aimee into our chat.
Thank you.
So people are loving your book cover art. Ah, thank you, Aimee, for that gorgeous book cover. Yay, Aimee, such beautiful artwork. Beautiful, beautiful. Wendy, that was Rachel. Wendy says, beautiful, beautiful art, Aimee. Janet, yay, it looks great. Lisa, beautiful, Aimee, and congratulations. Jackie, Aimee, Tomczak, thank you. Everybody's thanking you for that amazing art. I love seeing the
Mhm.
full framed art. I want to say that her workshops are not only, if you want to study art with Aimee, it's not only um, in person in California, you can also do online workshops, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
Check
yes, I'm
out
going to
her
be.
gift at the end of her chapter.
Mhm.
I love seeing the full framed art behind you, Aimee. Wendy Wood Hyla said, Kathy Bass, you are so talented. Your art is beautiful. Do you want to just move your head so we can see that lovely cactus behind you? It says,
Oh,
is that a saguaro?
that's not my art.
That's not your art.
No.
Okay. You have to be careful when you're doing webinars. People will think all the paintings behind you are your art. Gotcha. Ginny, thank you, Aimee, for courageously sharing your story and the process of your art. So moving and inspiring. Maureen, thank you, Aimee. I loved hearing that the faces of the divine feminine you painted reflected back to you your grace and witnessed you. Aimee, I'm so happy that you're living your happiness and creativity. Such an inspiration. And Mills, a magnificent story of awakening and homecoming and channeling. Julia, I love this art. I sent this as a text to myself. Let yourself trust the joy of your spirit that wants to come through. Beautiful sharing. Janet, Kathy, love the trust, the joy of your spirit. Charlene, we sure appreciate your sharing your story of renewal. Thanks for the gorgeous cover. Karen, thank you for sharing your story. Meredith, beautiful art. So much love. Jackie, exquisite woman, human. Lisa, I can feel how you've integrated and now embody the art teaching process you offer. Oh, you embody it. Ah, Hyla, thank you for your courage in sharing your story. And I agree. I mean, I think all the women here, but for you to, anytime we share, I was at the brink, I did this.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, I want to just appreciate all the authors and their courage in all the stories. It's so moving and such a gift to be with you.
Totally. Lucy, you have a powerful story. Maureen, I love how the agave frames your head like a corona. Wendy, Aimee, I really resonate with your story as a caregiver and working women.
Yeah.
Yes, Wendy's working hard to help us with our divine feminine yoga, but so she's a caregiver here for all of you. And also, I know
Mm.
you do caregiving in your home.
Mm.
I'm so glad you listened to your intuition and followed your spirit. Your art is so inspiring and beautiful. Thank you, Aimee. Let's all